In just a decade, the landscape of the Argentinian countryside has changed forever. From north to south, east to west, in each productive area, the IpesaSilo bags have headed a revolution in the way of keeping cereals and forages. In this historical moment of our agriculture, IpesaSilo has become a must to store and protect a cereal production that has doubled in tons in a few years. Each season, nearly 70% of the bagged production is stored in IpesaSilo bags. They are chosen by thousands of producers and hundreds of stockpilers, cooperatives and industries who reassert their trust in the simplicity, quickness and safety provided by the system. IpesaSilo is the undisputed leader in cereal and forage bagging for being the system pioneers, constantly innovating to offer improved solutions to the producer and providing a superior quality based on the best materials. The IpesaSilo bags have proved to be a highly efficient system. Through a simple 6-step process, we'll be ready to take advantage of all their potential. They are ground preparation, placing the bag in the bag loader, bag closing, bag filling, bag monitoring, and finally, taking out the grains. Step 1. Ground selection and preparation. The first step consists in an adequate preparation of the ground where the bags will be placed. This would be better done with a road grader. It is a matter of great importance to select a high and well-drained terrain, if possible with a slight slope, cleaned from weeds and stones and far from trees. Leveled surface, easy drainage. It is also convenient to choose areas far from public roads and wire fences. This will avoid possible damage caused by fire in drainage ditches or by outsiders. It is of high importance to control the weeds. Glyphosate or other herbicides can be used if necessary. Rodents will be kept away from the bags if weeds are under control. Besides, it is critical to avoid areas with stubble since it may perforate the interior side of the bags, letting in humidity. Step 2. Placing the bag in the bag loader. Once the terrain has been chosen and prepared, the next step is placing the bag in the bag loader. This machine is easily transported and simply operated. Once the bag loader is positioned, the bag box will be placed on the right of the machine, which will later help center the bag. This direction is adequately indicated in the upper flaps of the box. When the box is opened, the bag's documentation will be found inside. The instructions and guidelines for a correct placement and operation, the guarantee with a sticker that has the identifying number for the bag. It is advisable to keep all this documentation, which makes the product traceable. Once the box is open, the bag is unfolded on the terrain parallel to the bag loader, matching up the center label with the center itself of the machine. Then the upper folds are lifted on the elevating tray. It should be taken into account that the white fold must be facing the machine and the black ones backwards. Once the tray is lifted up to the corresponding height, the bag is set on the chute, keeping the center label on the central axle of the bag loader. Once the bag is placed in the chute, it must be pushed to the rear limit, making sure that all the folds are arranged in order on the lower tray. The lower tray must be exactly adjusted to let the bag folds unfurl smoothly. This can be easily done, leaving about an inch gap between the folds. Adjust the lower tray exactly. It is vital that the fixing chains of the lower tray have the right plastic protection. This will avoid damage to the bag during the filling process. Once the bag is set, we start pulling from the first exterior fold, not the one in contact with the chute. Step 3. Airtight bag sealing. Once the end of the bag is set on the ground, it can be closed. This is achieved through an electronic thermal fusion system which guarantees a tight and proper sealing, avoiding possible damage due to pressure of the grains once stored. This is a safe and easy process. Just connecting the feeding wire to the battery of a vehicle a few minutes, the complete sealing of the bag is done. Thanks to this effective system, IpesaSilo bags can increase their filling capacity, each storing up to 14 tons extra. Step 4. Bag filling. The key moment has come. With a bagging capacity of approximately 400 tons per hour, the bag loader machine lets the self-dumping auger wagon outload the grain without flow limitation. To start the process, it is recommended to set the brakes of the loader machine to a 20% of its capacity. This percentage will gradually be increased during the filling, taking into account not to exceed 44 centimeters of the perimetral stretching marked all along the bag. This will allow a greater storing capacity, avoiding unnecessary overstretching at the beginning of the process. The exact regulation of the brakes during all the bagging process will enable a perfect stretching of the bag for an adequate and lasting loading. This brake adjustment will result from the continuous measurement of the stretching. Another outstanding characteristic is the system adaptability to the different agroclimatic areas, which allows the storage of great quantity of products such as soybeans, corn, sorghum, alfalfa, forage, millet, oats, wheat, all kinds of grains and subproducts besides granulated fertilizers. The bagging operation doesn't limit the harvest but speeds it up, freeing the producer from waiting for trucks. It is neither necessary to stop harvesting because of adverse weather conditions. The filling process can be interrupted with a simple operation without wasting the rest of the bag. Besides the logistic advantages offered during the harvest, the system gives the opportunity of keeping the grains in the field and selling them at the optimum moment. The filling process can be interrupted under two situations. If the bag is going to be filled to its maximum capacity, the grain loading must be stopped when the bag end indicator is seen. Then the bag loader is moved away so as to have the rest of the bag unfurled on the terrain and afterwards seal the bag. If, on the other hand, the filling process is stopped for some reason, once the loading is interrupted, 4 folds must be counted. This is the quantity that must be unfurled on the terrain so that the final cut can be done and sealed with a thermal fusion system. Step 5. Bag monitoring. A bag which has been correctly made according to the instructions of this video will enable a perfect conservation of the stored grains. A control of weeds, rodents, and other pests must be carried out in the bagging area, fundamental during all the period the storage lasts. The bag surface, as well as the seals, must be periodically checked. If a better control is required, the CO2 could be measured. This will assure the conservation condition of the grains. This is done with specific electronic meters that provide a precise monitoring of the stored grains. It is also possible to obtain samples of the stored grains by probing the bag. Besides, this physical sample will give the farmer better tools for trading and marketing his grains. Step 6. Grain unloading. Producers count on reliable machines to take out the bagged grains quickly and efficiently, not only keeping the grain integrity, but also the loading and unloading times demanded by present commercialization. This guarantees the profit chain that the producer expects. From the desert in Sudan to the snow-covered fields in Russia, from India to the United States, The IpesaSilo bags are attracting producers all over the world due to their reliability and efficiency. IpesaSilo, the leading bag in grain and forage storage. Manufactured by Grupo Ipesa, Rio Chico.